We don't need
Okay.
to start again.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, Darcy just convinced me that we don't have to start again, which I wanted to because I feel a little discombobulated. But it defeats the whole purpose, doesn't it, people, of why Darcy and I are here. Being authentic, allowing us to just let it come as it does. I don't know, I'm feeling really off today, kind of funky, and I feel like I can't speak properly. And that's okay. Apparently, blame it on
That's
this
okay.
no, that is okay. It is okay. And I'm sorry, I'm like discrediting what I'm after too. I'm like really promoting us to be as genuine as possible, as authentic as possible, as real as if you feel funky that day, it's okay. And here I am negating it all. So I really apologize to myself first. And
No
to Darcy.
apologies. No
Yeah, well,
apologies.
yeah, just because we're on a public platform, I feel like I need to.
Yes, exactly. And that's really okay. I mean, I'm having a really quiet, I mean, I'm off today too. I feel really off. I feel so
Me
off
too. Yeah.
today. I got really tired on Friday. I had all these appointments, I had to do all these things, and I was just so wiped out yesterday that I lay down and I plugged myself into my own hypnosis yesterday to do an
Yeah.
hour.
Yeah.
My dear friend and colleague Lisa Hubler, she sends me recordings sometimes that she makes, and she says, "Here, listen to this one." So sometimes I listen to hers, which are hugely helpful, or sometimes I listen to my own and recordings that I've made. It's really helpful, except that my dogs started pawing at me, so I didn't really get a real good decompression
Yeah.
yesterday like I wanted. And I'm not someone who I was not feeling, couldn't even turn on the TV to watch anything. I never find that that's a good relaxing thing for me because I get really involved in the story and you get really amped up, and I was exhausted. So just the idea of watching a comedy, I don't think so. It's like, no.
Hear you. Hear you.
Watching a drama, absolutely
Absolutely
not.
not. No.
No. So I was kind of like, my favorite.
Sci-fi is always good. Sci-fi
Yeah,
is always.
sci-fi. I was gonna say my favorite thing to watch is sci-fi. I did not have the energy. If they were gonna be someplace and and not be able to breathe, I would have been gone.
I hear you.
My
I hear you.
God. So
Yes, isn't that inspiring, guys? For all of us might be feeling it collectively, not just Darcy and I. I mean, Darcy's in a different state than I am in, not literally mentally, maybe, but it's a different state. Physical state. Yeah, sorry, Darcy.
that's
So yeah, like it's maybe this is collective energy, and it's really good for us to note that it's yes, thank you, Darcy, for normalizing it, that it is okay, and that there is a lot of powerful energy going on around us. I mean, this awakening, evolvement, evolution, whatever you want to call it, is profound. And I think we have a life. I'm about to have a little tear. My gosh, I don't know why. Because we're being shifted, and the shift. Humans don't find the shift anything. Any change is always uncomfortable. As humans, we find that. I think generally that's good consensus.
right.
But this is something we're all unaware of too. We're not quite sure what's going on, how it's going on, and it's not by choice at all. And that's always the hardest sort of change to go through, but I think it's going to be worthwhile. I do. Yay! I think it is.
Yay.
No,
Oh,
I'm
I
exhausted.
think yeah, any kind of change is worthwhile, and it's like as long as you can um appreciate your feelings and not run from them. That's the big ticket. To say, wow, I am feeling bleh today, or I feel bad, or I feel angry, I feel really tired, I feel really sad today, and just to say, okay, these are my feelings, and this is how I'm feeling today, and I'm still going to move forward, or I'm going to contact somebody who I like to talk to, or I've here's something new. I have allergies. I've never had allergies before in my life, right? And suddenly I have allergies. That's a good thing for me to tap on, to do some EFT with, to tap on those allergies, so that they don't become overwhelming for me, or they don't become an excuse for me not to do something like, oh, Jemima, I'm going to be having a running nose the whole time. I don't want to be on camera.
Can't
Whatever.
do it. Can't speak.
do it. I can't do it. I have a bit of a headache that I got yesterday. It's still with me today, and that kind of slows me down. Whatever. Okay. I'm not
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah. I
And,
feel
I've
it.
never been perfect, and I tried.
We are
I tried.
perfectly imperfect people, perfectly imperfect.
Right.
If you want to have that perfect word in your world, perfectly imperfect is the best way to be, because it
Yeah.
allows room for all of us. And we have to make mistakes, and we have to be like, I don't know, have to have bruises all over us. So how boring would it be if we didn't, like, have mistakes and things and trial and error, and I mean, how boring would life be? So yeah, embrace our imperfectness. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Imperfect? Yeah, it is.
Yeah. 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 But I
See
also
what I mean, guys? See what I mean?
there you go. There you go. Imperfect is a good word.
Thank you.
And it doesn't matter, but we have this collective criticism,
Yeah.
the criticism that runs through society, runs through families, and then turns around, becomes self-criticism.
Hey, Das, that's a really good point, because what I wanted to talk about today was actually self-confidence and the impact that criticism has on us, especially when we're in a dark place. Not only when you're in a dark place, guys, I think, because this is general. You don't have to be suffering depression. You don't have to have suicidal thoughts. You don't have to have mental illness. So please, if anyone else wants to just listen to this conversation regarding self-confidence and self-esteem in relation to criticism.
Criticism. And that's a good, oh, I'm going to sneeze. Wow.
Good luck. You're going to have lots of people say, bless you. Sneeze again. I always say it's good luck when you're online and you do, like, you're videoing something, say bless you, because thousands and thousands of people say good luck.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Bless you, bless you, bless you. So I think that that's a really good point to talk about criticism today, because also, and whether you're dealing with mental illness or
Yeah.
not, or depression or not, or any of those things or not, one of the things I do think is showing up, and this is kind of important. Now my eyes are running, so I better go on it.
I thought I was bad.
Here we go. Oh, look at that poor woman. And then that's okay. And then I'm okay with it, though.
Yeah. And you look beautiful.
Is we are now at the year point from the pandemic. We're at the year point, right? We hit that we really kind of hit it January, February, March, right? March was our lockdown.
Yeah.
So what we're going to be witnessing now quite a bit is what is post-traumatic stress, due to how we dealt with all the events of last year.
Gosh, I just got goosebumps. Yeah.
Yeah, people have gone through so much since last year, right? I mean, whether you dealt with family issues, staying home with your kids, or losing your job, or selling your house, or the possibilities of losing your job. I mean, there were just so many things that happened that are still continuing to happen.
Yeah.
Still continuing to happen. And I think that insecurity of not knowing, we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know how to deal with it. We're finding out that people in authority potentially lied to us about the severity of the situation, and then now it all got politicized when it should have been just a national health emergency. And so those levels of not knowing, of being in the dark, and then being left on our own to try to manage it, though, that's a really big critical issue. And so suddenly we're coming out of that going, well, now I'm still dealing with it this way, this way, this way. And I'm really not sure about what's happening still. We don't know. And we have to understand that life is full of unknowns. That's life.
Yeah.
You think you think you plan for things. You go to school or you get married, and then life happens and there are lots of surprises. So how we want to deal with those moments of just not knowing, Can we be okay in ourselves, strong enough in ourselves to face those moments of not knowing? I don't know, because you really never do. So having a good basis in your heart,
Yeah.
in yourself, and having good connections in life with people that you admire or that you love can really help you navigate those moments of insecurity and not knowing. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Das, where do you, if you're feeling lacking of self-worth and confidence already,
Yes.
um, and you feel that you may go to people who may criticize you for your insecurities, which is
Right.
probably exacerbated because you're feeling insecure anyway. I'm sure that people will help because people have big hearts, like they want to. That's in our nature.
Right.
Um, what I mean, it seems like where do you go now? What do you do now when you feel like you're scratching at the surface and everything around you is a criticism, let alone this global crisis we're in?
Right.
How do we start to step out of this and find our inner healing? I know I did, but that's me and I'm fortunate, but it's like, I don't know, how do we
Well,
guide?
I think that, if you're really, and this is a big issue I have, this self-criticism issue.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like a big monster I have.
yeah,
I have a huge self-criticism monster that follows me around that I have to
yeah,
constantly go, okay, I'm done with you. I'm done with you. One of the things I've learned or come to understand for myself is who I want to talk to about my personal feelings have to be people that have my best interest and use positive language.
yeah,
And if they have my best interest at heart, and they are using positive language for me.
yeah.
So if I go to a friend and I say, "Wow, I'm feeling really down today," and they go, "Oh, you're always feeling down." Well, that's not the best person to
God,
talk
what
to.
the hell friends do you have?
Right? I mean, there are people that do that, and they think they're being helpful. Oh, you know what? You just need to go out and have some fun with some friends. I'll tell you that word just, and I used to use this in acting classes. If you're saying the word just, it takes the punch out, it's like a qualifier, it takes the
Like the word
truth out
but,
of it.
saying like
Huh?
the word. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
you
but
go, you just need to
yeah,
go for a walk. It really diminishes your everything, your feelings.
yeah,
If an actor says to me, "Oh, he just wants to get to know her," well, that's pretty boring. I would say to the actors, no, he needs to be in love with her, or she needs to be in love with him. Or if your character says, "Oh, I just need to go for a beer," no, no, you really need to go for a beer. Make it important. I used to tell my actors, just takes everything out of it.
yeah,
If you talk to somebody and they say, "Oh, you just need to go for a walk," or "You just need exercise," or "You just need to get more sleep," what they're really doing is dismissing and minimizing your feelings. And so that's not the right person to talk to. You want to find somebody who's you say, "Wow, I'm feeling really down today," and they go, "Wow, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry you're feeling down today." And they take a moment to actually make it about you, as opposed to, here's another one. "Oh, I'm feeling really down today." Me too. I'm feeling terrible. And I don't, I was feeling terrible for weeks, and I had to have a headache, and now I have a stomach ache, and it becomes all about them. Right.
you're like,
I mean, it's one, no, no, we share. So like if you say to me, "Oh, I'm feeling really down," and I go, "Oh, me too." And then what's going on with us? I don't know. I'm sorry you don't feel quite right. It's okay though. It's okay. We're here together. There's some things that we can do. We can meditate right together. We can do our hypnosis. You can get me going with your Pilates, and that'll be really helpful. We can smile at each other and say, "But I love you anyway." I honor your big feelings. I honor your sensitivity, that you're picking up on the, collective energies that are happening. So I think, yeah, if you have a lot of self criticism, a really great idea is to find people that respond to your words with a caring, compassionate and make it about you for a moment.
Mm, mm.
I'm so sorry that you're feeling, discombobulated today. Um, I am so sorry that, your energy is low today. Maybe that's your body's way of telling you need to slow down today and just be.
Yay! Permission granted.
Yay, permission. I give you permission to slow
Yay!
down today. And then she goes, woohoo!
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Oh,
I
yeah,
will
yeah,
take
yeah, yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But on the
yeah.
topic still of the criticism, do you think, where does that begin? Like, where do we get this devil inside that is so up to the point where I will say the word, because I know mine guys can be abusive, like
Yeah.
like to the point where I can't divorce myself. I can't like say bye bye. I can't separate myself from myself.
Yeah.
What the hell? Where does it come from? How does it continue to beat ourselves? And why the hell don't we just let it go and immediately? Like that's a loaded question, I know, but
It's a huge question. It's a great question. I think that it comes from so many sources, and that's what makes it complex. So, you know, we can look at first of all society, right? Let's just look at society. And society is all about criticism because you got to be the best. Be the best. Just go for it. We are the best. This is the best food product. This is the best car.
and
This
then
is
what fits into that best category?
right.
So
Yeah,
tiny.
and you'll right, and you'll be the best if you get these things.
Mhm.
So you're being sold this concept constantly of the best, right? And then we idolize our celebrities who are the most beautiful, the most perfect, the sexiest man alive, the most beautiful woman on the planet.
On the
And
planet. Oh my
right,
god,
right.
people, seriously.
Right. Miss
Sorry.
America,
Yeah.
Miss Universe. I mean, it goes on and on. Barbie is finally making a collection of inclusive dollies, finally, which I think is like,
Finally.
yeah, it only took them till 2000 and what? Where are
Yeah.
we? 2021.
2021.
I had a Barbie when I was a little girl. Well, it was really my sister's collection that I used to love to play with. But
I had a Barbie too. Yeah.
I used to love to dress her up. And then one day I said, I'm never going to look like Barbie.
Mm.
I was really devastated by that.
Wow, that's tough.
Yeah, that it is. And then,
How
being an
old were you with
actress,
that discovery?
huh?
Sorry. How old were you with that
I
sort of
was
awareness?
probably in middle school, probably in middle school.
So-
Middle school is that horrid transition
Yes.
between,
Yes.
it's the tweens at 11, 12, your hormones are developing and you don't know how to fit in, and part of you still wants to play with toys and the other part of you wants to be in high school driving a car, and you have aspirations of going to college and you don't know what the hell really that means. Right. So right, and it's all like this big huge jumble of information. And yeah, middle school is just really a tricky, uh what is it, between sixth grade, seventh, eighth, ninth,
Nice. Yeah.
right? Yeah, freshman year in high school. So those are what ages? 11 to 14?
Yeah.
Wow,
Uh,
poor kids. Like that's like horrendous. Just
yeah.
horrendous.
Yeah.
So we can just look at society, and then being an actress, cut your nose off, get a boob job, lose 20 pounds. Well, I'm 105, whatever. So, yeah,
Go
dye your hair, change
crazy.
your stuff. I came out of this office of this manager one time going, oh, I must be so completely deformed and
Oh,
hideous or
bless you.
something. I mean, he was just saying, go to get a makeover. We have to sell you. You can keep your nose. Your teeth are crooked. You need to look more feminine. You need to
Oh
go,
my
you're really
God.
talented. I
What?
mean, bam, 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 bam. And I'm going, okay, okay,
Oh,
okay.
oh,
And I
bless.
left the office going,
Oh my God.
wow, he really wants me to look like somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or he wanted me really to be marketable. He liked my talent, but my looks at that time were not marketable. Though in the 80s were brutal for women.
Yeah.
They were really brutal. Everybody was chopping themselves up in little pieces to fit that, ideal of what
Yeah.
femininity was supposed to be.
Yeah.
So there's that. Let's just start. And men, I'm not only talking from a woman's perspective. What about men having to be masculine or this or that? We're finally moving into a more gender accepting, individual looks accepting. We're bringing in appreciating our differences. That means that we're hiring minorities where it would have been an all white cast before. I'm just talking about the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, we're really opening up our vision of people, which will really help,
Yeah.
which will really help
I hope so.
collectively. Right. So, okay. So there's that. There's the societal pressures put on men and women to look, be, act, have, own things that make them successful and good and perfect and all that garbage. Then you have the family pattern. Why are you not getting an A? Great, you got a B. Can you get an A? Uh, you know, uh, oh, you're gaining weight, or oh, don't be so dumb. I mean, we just throw out phrases with no problem. Ah, you big dummy, what are you doing? And that seems so, no big deal. No, dumbass, go pick that up. It's like, not meant to really be harmful,
Sorry.
but it is.
Horrible. It's horrible. I'm just
But
hearing
it
it.
is.
Yeah. It's just what happens, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just what happens. We throw off phrases like don't be lazy. You're being so lazy. Go pick that up. Clean your room. You're being lazy. Hey, lazy, get off your butt and go do this. Hey, lazy. Yeah, I mean, we throw labels and names at each other, which really results in criticism.
It's horrible. I
Oh,
don't.
we
I
do
mean,
it all the time.
yeah. I mean, I was fortunate enough to not have that in my family.
Great.
So I don't. I mean, it's just like listening to it. It's hot. I don't even. I feel sick thinking if that happened in my family. Like, but granted, I still have a demon self critique. So it doesn't matter if, like, what is that about? Like, if I was embraced and celebrated, how come I have this devilish dark soul that just, like, as you said, the entity is a separate entity. Sometimes it really is. You got to say thank you, enough, bye-bye. Yeah, but where does it come from? Like, I mean, that's just, and I wasn't influenced. I mean, I wasn't encouraged to watch TV as much, or I don't know. It was
Well, then
self.
yeah, and then there's a third one, which is I think the DNA. I really think.
Really.
Oh yeah, I think the Native American philosophy says it beautifully. What you do in this generation will affect the next 7 generations,
Yeah.
right? What
Okay.
you do right now, here today, is going to affect the next 7 generations.
Yeah.
And they talk about they're finally noticing in mental health and the medical field is that the mother's trauma actually gets passed on to the baby.
Mm.
Well, and then look, we also have things like um, genetic disposition to illness, right? Oh, well, this illness runs in my family. So I'm really genetically disposed to getting this. Well, I think that's also true of mental perspectives.
Yeah.
I think it comes through our DNA. And this is one of the things I really want to start working on as a
Can I just
hypnotherapist.
can I just clarify something? So you're
Yeah, yeah,
saying, even though, just for example, my mother was so loving, but I know she
yeah.
was definitely insecure when she grew up. When I was growing up, she was when she grew up, when probably both. But I mean, she would never have projected that onto me. But are you saying that it's part of her chemical combination of, like, makeup, that it was then, it's in my cells to have that influence on me? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't, because I know mum was insecure, but she never projected that onto me, or tried never to, even though I know as an adult, because I watched her as an adult see that in her. But it's not something I would ever have been.
Yeah.
I guess, conscious of as a child.
Right.
Yeah.
And
But
she would not be conscious of it either. It's not a conscious
mm,
delivery of that
yeah,
information.
it's just the
It's
energy and the feeling. Yeah.
it's just, yeah, how we
Oh, that's
throw.
messed up. It's so deep.
No, not at all. Now here's the
Okay. Okay.
positive aspect of
Yep.
this.
Yep.
So the family line, whatever it is you're bringing into this lifetime, right? As a child, the child helps the family process the DNA, I believe, through the family line, right?
Wow. Okay.
So
Okay.
maybe 2 generations ago or 5 generations ago, right? When the mother was on the prairie and, digging the well and or taking abuse, or I mean, dealing with societal pressures of, well, here's a good one. My mom wanted to be an artist, but no, she had to go to secretary school.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that understanding gets passed on to her kids. Not consciously,
Yeah.
but I know that story.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
heard her tell that story, right? So that's devaluing of the artist in her was something I watched her struggle with, whereas she would never have thrown that on me, but
Yeah.
she inadvertently did,
Yeah.
right? So the important part here now is, again, what do we do with that? I truly believe that this is the evolution of the species, that you, with your awakened understanding of these patterns throughout your family, allows you to become a person who is awake and aware, to start breaking those patterns, those destructive mental patterns, so that the next generations following can get more aware and break those patterns. And that is the evolution of the species. And we do it family line
And
by
I don't have to
family
have
line.
children though. Like you're saying, just my influence, my change in my own awareness and behavior will influence.
Sure.
Okay.
Look at all the people that
You!
you.
But I have to go get pregnant all of a sudden.
No, no, no.
Oh, quick! Quick! Where's my man? Quick! Get going!
Get over here. I have
Yeah.
exactly 2 years left.
47! Can't do it
Go,
anymore!
go, go.
God. Oh my God! Yeah. So
Yeah,
in terms
just go
of
fast.
guys, you have to go have children. Oh,
I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta work. Some work to do.
like sweating and oh my God, I got chills. I'm sweating. I don't know what's going on.
Having hot
come here,
flashes
come here.
just thinking about it.
How awesome. Okay.
But I have a friend, and I think this is a great example of what I'm talking about. So she is a really good friend of mine, really close friend of mine, and she was 10 years sober. And I remember we were celebrating her sobriety, her 10-year sobriety. What a wonderful person. She came from a family of alcoholics and drug abusers, right? I don't know all of it. All I know is her grandmother. Her grandmother was a big drinker. And did I tell you this story? Oh my gosh. So my dear friend, we were roommates at one point, and she says, can you stay home tonight? Because my grandma's coming to visit and she's going to need a drinking partner.
Oh my God.
And I said, sure.
Sure, why not?
With your grandma? No
Yeah.
big deal. That sounds really nice. I'd be happy to do that. I didn't have a drinking problem. Not a problem. So her darling grandma comes over, lovely woman, spit of health, vibrant, right? Lovely. She drank sapphire gin martinis.
Yeah.
Bombay sapphire gin martinis. And she was very specific at how she made them. She taught me how to do it. Just so. I'm like, oh, fantastic. And I was supposed to go out to dinner. I had a date that night, right?
No.
Notice I used the word had. I had a date, right? So,
oh my God.
I know, right? So, yeah, I can have a drink with grandma. And then
grandma, come
what's
on.
the big deal, right? We're, by the first one she says is to just toss it back.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like,
oh, toss back a martini.
You're tossing back a martini. Okay. I'm like sipping it. And she goes, no, toss it back. Second one is to get warmed up. And she's telling dirty jokes. And my friend sitting in the corner, and I'm looking at her like, drinking with grandma, drinking with grandma. Anyway, I think my third martini, I called my friend. I can't go to dinner. I've been drinking with grandma.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
And he goes, what? And I'm like, yeah, I had a drink with my friend's grandmother. Oh, I cannot go to dinner. I can't go anywhere. I'm like blowouto, totally
Blasted. Oh
blasted.
my
So he goes,
God.
well, can I come over? And he goes, oh, bring some food. I said, bring whatever you want. I don't care. Come on over. So yeah, grandma was really excited that a guy was coming over. She's like, hey, come on in, join the party. He was the nicest person, the nicest person. He sat there with us, laughed, and he was just so sweet about the whole thing.
You're
So
so
nice.
drunk. How
Yeah, I was
funny.
just hammered. So what my friend had done, love it.
That's so funny.
I love that story. But what my friend had done was to break that family pattern of
Oh yeah.
of self-abuse. That's what alcoholism is, self-abuse, right? It's
Oh,
it's the lack of self-love. It's the self-criticism. It's that need to you know drown out the voices and to
that makes me sad, Das, because coming like she obviously, gosh. So what if you're not able to break it with the last person that you know, like if they've already passed on, and it wasn't that chain needed to be broken, but can't break it anymore because they're no longer here. So,
that's fine. That's their journey. That's fine. That's their
and that's just
journey.
me. Just I still have to just go on and not like drink with
You
grandma.
you have your journey. Yeah, you have your evolution of the species. It's your evolution of, yeah, her grandma's not with us anymore. I'm fairly sure, because that was, like
Sorry, grandma. Yeah, we don't need to have a
30
giggle.
years ago
Sorry.
or more. I can't remember how many years ago that was. I'm surprised I can even remember the
The
story.
story.
I don't remember any of the jokes. They were funny, but I don't remember them. But,
Oh,
but what my friend has done is she's evolved the species. She's not going to have children. I don't believe she's that. But the people that she's met, that she's touched with her ability to stay sober, and I think she's fallen off the wagon and gotten back on. That's the evolution of her family line. That's breaking that DNA line,
yeah.
and that's evolving the species
Right. I
with
see.
her
Yep.
awake awareness.
Okay.
And I think that that's a great understanding of that. So when we face our self-criticism, self-criticism comes from so many different levels.
Yes.
There's society, there's family, there's DNA, and our language, oh, I'm so stupid, why did I do that? We say stuff like that. Or, okay, fatty, let's try to put your jeans on today. We're so
Horrible.
hard
God,
on us.
do people say that to? Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah,
It's so
yeah, yeah.
sickening. I'm really fortunate, but it's
You
just,
are.
I am very, very fortunate. But
Yeah. Because you're brought into the world at this time to help us wake up to how we deal with ourselves, right?
wow. Yeah.
To wait. I mean, that's the whole premise behind your website, is awakened
Yeah.
positive power.
Yeah.
To start looking at our patterns and say, I don't have to say such mean things to myself all the
Yeah.
time. And we do it unconsciously. We don't even realize that we've been given those phrases.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
of the things I do when I have clients is I have to listen to their words and say, okay, where are they doing this to themselves? Where are they reinforcing their negative perception of themselves or their situation? How many times do they say, I can't, I don't know?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I
those.
can't. It's a huge one, isn't it? I can't do that today because what instead of saying I'd love to, but I'm busy today. Like even just saying something like that, it's so common to say I can't, but because you can, but you just not right now. It's a whole mental
And that's
manifest.
such a great empowering phrase. I can't do that today, or I can't do it, but to say, I would like to do that, or maybe honestly, I wouldn't like to do that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Instead of saying, well, I can't right
yeah,
now, you can say, that's really not for me. And right now, today, I need to do something else, you know? And just to be honest with yourself
yeah.
is really tricky. It's really tricky.
Really tricky, yeah,
We
especially when
have
you
to
don't
just
know that
listen to
it's
our language, right?
yeah,
We have to listen to
exactly.
our language. A lot of times we don't say it out loud. This is the really hard part. It's all
Yeah,
in our, you
yes,
know, it's
yeah.
all in our subconscious, in our loop thinking. What we're doing
But
in
how do we
there.
quieten that loop? I'm still challenged with my own loop thinking, and the challenge every day it is to shush I call it the demon, sorry, but I call it
That's
the
right.
demon. It's so
That's
dark,
fine.
dark and hate, like nasty, but it's always there. And I'm thinking, no matter how much I heal, it's still there, and that's not okay with me in a way. I mean, I'm
Right.
sort of going, that's not okay that you're still around so fierce. I understand you're there to protect me sometimes, or to pull me back sometimes, to be cautious, but I'm okay to take care of myself that way now because I'm old enough and mature enough. But so go away. Like, why are you still here? And I've tried to love it away. I've tried to hug it away. I've tried to cry it away. I've tried to hate it away. It doesn't work. All these sort of there was different ways of communicating with this self-critic. It just seems stuck.
Well, what they say is what you resist persists. So don't try to push it away. Just listen to it, hear it. What language is it giving you, and talk back to it. So if it
Okay.
says you can't do that, you don't know enough, you're this or you're that, or who's gonna, whatever the voice is of your demon, you can say, all right, I hear you. I hear you. I disagree with you. All right, I hear you. And yeah, it is a daily struggle because how many years have you been practicing with him, the
47.
demon? Yeah. So you've had 47 years of practice with that negative self talk.
46, let's say, because I'm a
Let's
year
say
of recovery.
46, because
Yeah,
I
46.
think they,
Year to years, but the year makes a huge
no, let's just skip the whole first 5 years.
difference. Yeah, 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 totally. First five
Yeah.
years.
And then it starts to sneak in when you're in elementary school and you hear it from, oh, I'll never forget this. We were playing in a playground with my kid, right? This is how this starts to sneak in. Playing in a playground with my kid. All these kids are playing. And my son is really outgoing and gregarious, and he always found lots of kids to play with. All of a sudden I see him crying really hard. I go over, I'm like, did you get hurt? What happened? What happened? And he goes, that boy said I'm a nothing.
Oh no.
And
Oh, little
he
one.
was he was little. He was like, I don't know, 5 years old, I think. That
Oh,
boy said I'm a nothing. I'm like, wow, that's a big statement. That's a big statement that my son understood.
yeah, yeah.
And I said, what'd you say to him? He goes, I'm not a nothing. And I said, you're right. He said, you're a smart, wonderful kid. And I went over and looked at the other kid and I said, words hurt. I said, that's as bad as punching somebody. Words hurt,
Yeah,
And I said, Rio, just go find somebody else to play with.
yeah,
You don't need to hear him. It devastated him.
yeah, yeah,
Devastated him to have a kid call him a nothing.
yeah.
So, yeah, let's say the
That's
first
so
4 years of your life were okay, right? Without the
oh,
criticism.
3, 2.
Okay. So there you go. So you've
Yeah,
been practicing with that demon for a long time.
yeah.
And now, so yeah, it is going to be a daily practice to do the opposite. Absolutely. Just like prayer as a daily practice and brushing your teeth, bringing your spiritual practice into your life on a daily basis,
Yeah, yeah.
this is going to be a regular practice. And don't resist it. If that critical monster shows up and says, oh, Darcy, you're going gray, you're an old lady, say, okay, I hear you. I mean, I'm
God,
telling you.
your critic is really wrong.
Oh, my critic is really loud sometimes. My critic is loud. My critic has a couple of different voices, couple of different faces, and I have to go, yeah, I'll color my hair later when I feel like it. I'm okay with it. So what? I'm 60, big deal. Big deal.
Amazing.
It doesn't matter, but I have to talk to my critic and say, enough, I don't need you today.
Yeah.
I don't need you today. Uh I have enough to deal with. I don't need you today. Or maybe I'll listen to the criticism that's going through my head and say, what can I do to work on these issues?
Mm. Yeah. So
If
use
my
it as a,
critic is going, hey, you're um you're overweight or you're fat. Okay. Thanks for that nasty message. What can I do today to take loving care of myself, to work with the idea of, weight as a health issue rather than weight as a beauty issue,
mm,
right? That's a
yeah,
mistake right there. So,
yeah.
um, anyway, sometimes, your monster critic or your, the demon or whatever it is, sometimes they're giving you information. You just need to flip it or have someone help you flip it, if that
Mm,
makes any sense.
yeah.
Right? Right.
Tough one. Tough one.
Mhm.
It's a tough one for us all.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
This
it
is
can, that's what can
empowering.
lead to depression, right?
Yeah.
Is that,
Yeah.
and we don't like to admit that we have a critic. It's
What?
hard to, oh, yeah.
I'm like,
We,
yes. Everyone
right,
should admit because then, like, the more we voice it, the more we vocalize it, the less it will be, or less loud. I think it is. It's less, and it's understood by other people that if you say, yeah, that's just happening, like people can help you understand that that's not the reality.
yeah,
Like you are, I could say back to you, you are not fat. You are not any of the things that your devil said, your demon said is so incorrect. So
right.
incorrect. So I
But
don't
it
know.
won't matter.
Yeah.
It won't matter. You could say, you could tell me, I mean, we've heard from models, beautiful
Yeah.
models
Yeah.
that, they have this critic in their head. And that's why you just really got to go, okay, what is your critic saying today? Can you dismiss that? Can you say, I hear you, goodbye? I don't need you today. I'll talk to you later. Uh, or you can say, well, what can I do that would show myself some self love, right? If I'm concerned about my weight, is that true or not true for myself? Am I eating right? Am I getting my exercise? Well, let me look at those things
Yeah.
because that's an evidence of self love. Stopping eating is not self love,
Yeah. Definitely.
right? Over exercising is not self love.
Mm.
That's just, abusing yourself.
Yeah.
But I could say, yeah, I could use more exercise, or yeah, I could use making a salad the focus of my dinner rather than the meat and potatoes. Put
Mhm.
the salad in the center, and then I could have down the other elements and put those as side dishes. I mean, we kind of eat in the wrong way, but that's a
Yeah.
whole nother
That's a
conversation.
whole nother story. Yeah.
A
Don't get.
whole nother conversation, Jemima.
Yeah.
Yeah, nutrition. We should have a conversation about nutrition one day and how it affects your mental health.
Yeah. Mental. Exactly. Exactly.
Right, 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 right. And then, yeah, so self criticism does go into uh, a big part of depression because a lot of times people don't even want to admit that they have this self criticism going on, because it means that they're not strong or that they're not perfect or healthy, or maybe they're, not stable because they self-criticizing,
But
so
don't you think? Can I just ask something? Don't you think
yeah.
that denying your self-critic only leaves room for a more dramatic reaction to it? Like, even if someone talks to you, like, because your critic is so loud, you may just be reactory in terms of being defensive. Like, you learn a pattern to if you don't own it, if you don't speak, what I don't know what I'm trying to say.
No,
If
I
you
know
don't,
what you're saying. Yeah, yeah,
God, someone
sure.
does.
Yeah. Yeah, I just heard that. Um, yeah, sure. Anything that, we're in denial of is going to get, stored. Sure. That doesn't make it any easier to cop to it,
True, true, yeah.
So, um, for me to just sit here and say, yeah, I have a big critic in my head is me saying that, yeah, I'm not perfect and I got to be okay with that. Or maybe it means that, well, don't you do hypnosis? Aren't you, don't you help clients? Yeah,
Yeah, I hear
absolutely.
you.
I do.
Yeah.
I sure do help clients. I help, and I work on myself a lot. And I have a tendency to use my life
Yeah.
circumstances, past. I draw from those things, and that is what makes me an empathetic and compassionate to others who are going through the same thing. But not everybody is comfortable admitting that because it might seem like a weakness.
Yeah.
You might look weak. You might. I think there's a movie out right now where there's a scene with a therapist. I just saw an advert, and she's talking to her. She's a therapist, and then she's talking to her therapist, and she's like, "I'm supposed to help all these people. Well, what if I tell them the wrong thing, or what if I don't know what to say?" Yeah, people go through stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody goes through stuff, but to admit that to somebody is really hard. I had a great doctor once. I went into, like a regular practitioner, general practitioner years ago, went into his office, had a cold or the flu or something. And I had asked him some health question. And he goes, "Oh, I don't have the answer for that. I'm going to research it and I'll get back to you."
Mm.
I loved that doctor.
Yeah,
I
totally.
loved that doctor. And he sure did. He emailed me, "Look, this is what I found out, and this is different studies. I like this one the best because of this," right?
Mm, mm.
And I didn't think of him as not being educated. I liked his curiosity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honesty, like that's being vulnerable like that is show leaves room for a lot more respect from other
Right.
people as well, because if you're just straight up and honest rather than go yeah or giving misguided information, especially as a doctor, not a good look. But yeah, so that honesty is the vulnerability. Yeah.
So I'm thinking about our meditation.
Yes.
Jeez, I'm thinking about it.
I didn't do breath work today, guys, because once again I was befuddled and fucked. So that's me being honest. Talking about being honest, I was going to make a big story, but I refused. I'm being honest. I forgot. I was in my own headspace, and I was a little selfish, and that's not being a negative word, guys. So we're allowed to be selfish. Don't want that to be a negative word anymore. But I was a little selfish, not thinking that you might need it too. So I will apologize for. But we'll do it next
Well,
week.
you know what?
You have to come back
Yeah,
next week.
we'll just have to come back next week for your breath
Yeah.
work.
I mean, come on.
Or we could go to your website for your Pilates class.
Yes,
And
you could come to
yoga.
my website, Awaken Positive Power. They have Pilates classes. Yeah, Pilates classes there. Every day you want to come, Monday to Friday are live ones, or on Friday on YouTube is the pre-recorded one, and it's like with the desert background, so I am in the desert. But yeah, come along and you learn breathing techniques there and stuff. But we'll do another breath work next week. You're forced to come. What a shame! What a shame! Life's tough. Okay.
Life is tough. Right. So I was just trying to think of a meditation that would go with our conversation. I always like to
Yes.
do that. So I think what I'm going to do is read um, from Louise Hay. Do you know who Louise Hay is?
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
Louise Hay has that book, You Can Heal Your Body, right? She has a number of books.
Yeah,
I really love Louise Hay. Here's
me
one.
too. Yeah,
Heal your body. This is
very
really,
healing.
look how old it is. It's like falling apart. I love it. Louise
Yep.
Hay, she's one of my big favorite. I'm such a big fan of hers. I was so sad when she passed recently, but I
Did she
feel,
pass?
yeah,
Oh,
a little
okay.
while ago. I don't remember
Yeah, I didn't know
when,
she passed. Sorry.
but I feel like I get a lot of info from her. So anyway, I'm going to read her loving treatment. Let's just
Okay.
sit back and listen to this loving treatment. It's one of my favorite things to use. I use it at the end of every hypnosis session I do. And oh, and when I'm feeling really funky myself, when I get really like, self critical, I'll go and I'll read this out loud to myself. It's Louise
Mm,
Hay's Loving Treatment, and it really
okay.
helps me come back to myself. So, if that's okay with you, that's what I'd like to do. Does that
Love,
sound good?
love it.
Okay,
Sounds perfect. Thank you, Darcy.
sweet. All right, my pleasure. All right. So here we go.
Yay.
Okay. So sit up nice and straight. I mean, you can lie down if you're at home. That's fine. That's totally okay. If you're gonna lie down, try to elevate your knees and your shins, calves, ankles under with some pillows under them, so it takes the pressure off the lower back. So kind of elevate yourself, that your lower legs, and make sure it's nice and supported. And if you are lying down, throw a blanket over yourself so you don't get cold while you lie there. And if you're sitting up, then sit nice and straight so you can get a nice channel of energy through you. And go ahead and close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Hold for a beat. And exhale through your mouth. Long and slow. And breathe easy. That's really nice. And now I'm going to help you inhale and then exhale longer than the inhale. So I'll just do some counting and you can just follow along with that, easy and gentle. So I'm just going to count in on a count of 4. We're going to hold for a beat and we're going to exhale on a count of 6. 4 and 6. Okay. So here we go. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, and exhale. 3, 4, 5, 6. And breathe easy. And again, breathing in. 2, 3, 4, and holding. And exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And breathe easy. And one more time, breathing in. 2, 3, 4, and holding. And exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And breathe easy. Notice how much deeper your breathing has gone just with that simple deep breath. And for just a moment, allow yourself to hear the sounds around you without getting involved in them. Just notice their sounds. Maybe it's sounds of traffic or people in the room or outside the room. Maybe it's the sounds of dogs barking or the wind blowing. And it's just all sound. Letting the sound come and go. The way the breath comes and goes. Each sound comes and goes. The way the breath comes and goes. Easy and effortlessly. And just noticing the body, being in the body, noticing the temperature of the air on your exposed skin, noticing the clothes or the jewelry on your body, what's tight, what's loose, scratchy, what's soft. Just notice it without adjusting it or trying to do anything with it, just noticing it. Notice your body in the chair or lying on the floor, being with this body in this moment, letting the sounds come and go, feeling your body breathing easily and effortlessly. Take a nice deep breath in and a nice deep exhale out. That's right. Being here now and knowing that deep at the center of your being, there is an infinite well of love and goodness. You now allow this love and goodness to flow to the surface. It fills your heart, your body, your mind, your consciousness, your very being, and radiates outward from you in all directions and returns to you multiplied. The more love and goodness you use and give, the more you have to give, for the supply is endless. The use of love makes you feel good. It is an expression of your inner joy. You love yourself. You love yourself. Therefore, you take loving care of your body. You lovingly feed it nourishing foods and beverages. You lovingly groom it and dress it, and your body lovingly responds to you with vibrant health and energy. You love yourself, therefore. You provide for yourself a comfortable home, one that fills all your needs and is a pleasure to be in. You fill the rooms with the vibration of love, so that all who enter, yourself included, will feel this love and be nourished by it. You love yourself, therefore. You work at a job that you truly enjoy doing, one that uses your creative talents and abilities, working with and for people that you love and who love you, always while earning a good income. You love yourself, therefore. You allow yourself to earn a good income. You behave and think in a loving way to all people, for you know that which you give out returns to you multiplied. They are a mirror of what you are. You love yourself, therefore. You forgive and totally release the past and all past experiences. You are free. You are free. You love yourself, therefore. You live totally in the now, experiencing each moment as good and knowing that your future is bright, joyous, and secure. For you are a beloved child of the universe, and the universe lovingly takes care of you now and forevermore. And so it is. I love you. And just for a moment, breathe, breathe for just one more moment. Letting those words sink in. I'm going to ring the bells 3 times. And by the end of the 3rd ring, we'll come back feeling restored, refreshed, and energized down to the very cells of our being, the very cells of our DNA.
I love
Yay.
you.
I love you too.
Well,
We love
no,
each other. We love everybody.
yeah, we love, love, love. I feel full of love. That was
I love
beautiful.
Louise Hay. Isn't that the most beautiful
Yeah,
thing ever? Love her. Love Louise Hay.
yeah, she really
So
is amazing. I didn't know
helpful.
she passed. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
incredible. Incredible. If you know any of her books, guys, get it. It's like life changing, and they'll look tattered like that.
Eventually, they will be. I have a
Eventually, yeah.
couple of her books, and they're like,
Yeah, me too. Me too. They're all torn up. Wonderful. That was a
Mhm.
great way to thanks. Just to reinforce that we are all loving beings, and that we're all just coming from a place of love can inspire, uplift, and heal ourselves so much. And as you said, Darcy, to sit with your critique, criticizer, demon, as I say, and
Monster.
yeah,
Yeah.
monster, and just acknowledge it and be willing to say, no, I don't need you today. I don't need you.
Yeah. All right, Jemima.
Thank you, my love. Thank you, guys. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Didn't forget that
Oh yeah,
one.
yeah. Like, share, subscribe. Rah, rah, rah.
And we'll see you next week at 9, and we'll continue our amazing discussions. If you have any input, to write a message down the bottom. If you want any feedback, or sorry, if you want any, what's the word I'm looking for?
Reply.
Yeah.
Want us to
No,
reply? We'll
if you,
reply back.
if you any ideas, like any topics that you might want to hear us talk about, because we're full of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's time that I went. I think I'm not making much sense now. I'm
I
sorry,
think
guys.
that's okay. That's okay. You take it easy
I'm
today.
okay. Yeah,
Take
I'm
it
okay.
easy today. Yeah,
Yes.
a nice
And you,
easy
Das,
day.
and you guys out there too. Remember, it's a crazy world out there, and we're okay. We got this. We'll
We
see you
got it.
next Sunday. Mwah. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye. Let me get